Because kids are funny as shit. Sometimes they like to roast me because I grew up in Boston. I can handle a great deal of abuse. Boston's like New York's drunk cousin, once removed type thing. Then we go to LA. Everything's slow.
Chill.
Socializing in California has a hidden message in it all. Everyone's making noise, but no one's talking to each other.
I'm like the coolest fucking guy in LA.
Yeah.
All right, welcome back to another episode of First Rounds on Me, a First Rounds on Media production. We're joined by your mum's favorite content creator, Tyler Jackowski. He's a teacher turned storyteller, a connector who's mastered the art of turning everyday experiences into moments that resonate with millions, and someone who's been unafraid to show the reality of being a creator. Today we're going deeper. We're talking about the connective thread between classrooms and content, the truth about algorithms and money, the role of giving back, and what connection really means when the whole world is watching.
Did you take that from my Twitch?
Frick yeah.
Your mom's favorite content creator?
Your mom's favorite content creator? That's hilarious.
Love that. When I got on Twitch, they were like, you got to put something here because it really pulls people in. And I'm like, what do you actually want me to? Your mom's favorite content creator.
I love it so much.
I could care less.
But
No, this is an honor.
I put an Australian twist on it with mum, not mom.
I was going to say, I think of all of the accents in the world, I think I could listen to Australians talk for the highest amount of hours and I'll just... the whole time.
He says that I sound like I have peanut butter on the roof of my mouth.
So, Tyler, I'm on your side.
But I love it.
But Tyler, I'm on your side. It sounds very nice and soothing.
Sure.
When there's information that you need to know,
Yeah.
it's very frustrating because you don't understand it. So constantly in my house, there's a lot of what, and I'm like, listen to me. I don't understand your goddamn accent. If you want to talk to me, come in front of me.
We're married. We have a child. It's crazy that after all of this time, you still don't know me after 5 years.
You didn't like do a little bit of like scanning of the scenery of whether or not I can understand this individual?
Cannot understand
Also,
her.
it keeps the spark alive. You know what I mean?
That's fair. I like that. I mean, I think that Australians are some of the most entertaining people. You know Jim Jeffries?
Fuck yeah, I know Jim
Oh
Jeffries.
my, he is... I'm wasting time.
No,
he is like,
no
I
time
think
wasted.
he is the funniest person in the world. And I fear that the fact that he says stories, if somebody took his story and just said it with my accent, I don't think I would find it funny.
No.
He is so goddamn funny.
It's the way he says it. Although, controversial opinion.
Oh.
Ready?
Oh, God.
I love all of his specials. I love it. This last one, I was like, the swearing is kind of gratuitous. It's like he's like fuck shit cunt like just like literally
gotten so big, though.
saying it, but for like he said it in such an intelligent way for all of the other specials, which I really liked. Like it's very like the Australian vernacular
Sure.
is swear heavy.
Yeah,
Like
it is.
that's just how we operate, right?
And I feel like, yeah, that's kind of like how, like, I think that might be something that, like, is part of the reason why I love him so much is because I'm from Boston and we don't know how to, like, not swear. Like, do you know how hard it is on social media, when I was in the classroom, like, anything in between to not, like, desperately get canceled from my
The
job?
classroom must have been so
But we do
hard.
say that the Boston Australian accent is the closest
Pretty similar.
in America.
You think?
Yeah.
Well, it's because we drop our
Car.
R's and
They
use
say car.
Car.
Like
Yeah.
car.
Yeah, you both say car the same.
Okay, here's one thing I need. We're going to bounce back to Jim Jeffries, but you're going to about to see the most ADHD thing you've ever seen in your entire life.
love it. Bring it
and
on.
this is an hour of talking to me. So everyone says that like the Boston accent is like this it's not as common as people give it credit for. Everybody thinks that all Bostonians are walking around sounding like, you know,
Rachel Dratch.
yeah,
Do you know what ad I'm talking
that's a
about?
pretty important one. Everybody thinks that like every other Bostonian is like Ben Affleck walking around being like, "Wait, I pack my cat." It's like that accent that everyone like hyperbolizes, and they're like, "You gotta have it." It's like that accent belongs to a very niche group of people.
Can I say something, Tyler?
Go.
I could 100% relate because the New York accent.
Sure.
My family's from Staten Island. When Hannah met my family, she was like, "Oh my God, I feel like I'm in like a Bronx Tale."
Yeah.
And she's like, "You don't have that accent." I'm like, "No, I have like a normal New York accent."
Exactly.
Not that.
Exactly. That's the thing. Like that accent that people like hyperbolize and they're like Boston car, that belongs to a 65 to 85-year-old man living in Southie. And that's okay. You know, I have friends of mine who like the minute I got out of high school, I moved to Boston. I've lived there from when I was 18 until 2 years ago when I moved to be with Rania in LA. That entire time, I met probably 3 kids my age who really, really have a Boston accent, like full-blown pack, all this.
Kappa.
But like the thing is, those 3 kids were raised by
Those
65-year-old men from Southie who have never moved out of Southie and they only talk to people from Southie. Those are the people where I'm like, you know what? That's real. I have so many friends who the minute that we get into the city or they come and visit me when I was at school, they would all of a sudden, they'd be coming down from like Gloucester and they would all of a sudden have like this heavy, like, how you doing, bud? We're going to go to the park. And it's like, no, we're not.
You're like, that's not how you speak. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, literally. Like, no one talks like that, and I know you don't because I know your parents and I've been to your house. No one around you speaks that way.
Speaking of Southie and Ben Affleck, one of my favorite movies of all time, The Town.
Oh my God, The Town is such a good
It
cut.
is
I
a
can watch
great
that on
movie.
repeat.
I think we should just like...
Just watch that.
Let's just put it up here.
Honestly, sounds like
and
a
then
great
we'll just
podcast.
react and be like, I'll be saying every single word to that movie, and you guys will be waiting for one of you to be like, can someone tell him to shut up?
No,
because he's saying every single word.
I respectfully request the fact that you speak in that Southie accent the entire podcast from now on.
I could try, but people tell me. So it's like I'm well aware of the fact that when people listen to me, you might, if you really know the accent and you understand like the reality that most people don't talk like the guy from Southie, like you can listen to me and be like, yeah, you're probably from Boston.
Same thing with him, like little things, like the end of sentences. that you
Exactly.
Or
kinda get.
drunk.
Or drunk. Or
That's
angry.
what I was about to say. So there are little moments where people are like, oh, because there are times where like we're out drinking and I'll be like, where are we going? And they're like,
Oh.
was that one word? Was that whole sentence one word? And it's like, it slips every now and again, but it's like, I was an English teacher. You can't walk into English 101 with high schools and be like, how you doing, kid? It's like, it's not going to work. You know, you're not going to get a job if you can't speak the language. So there was definitely a part of me that just like learned the English language and phonetics in general. And I think that might have like pulled away from the fact that like I lived in Boston and I could have acquired the accent at a higher rate. But it's also just not all that common, you know? In Boston, such a melting pot of people from all over the place. Like I've heard the Chicago accent more often than I've heard the Boston accent with people that I go to school with.
Oh, yeah. So when I moved to New York City when I was 26,
Yeah.
and they said that it was more rare to meet someone from New York who lived in New York City than anywhere else in the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, really? They're like,
And
you're
even
from New
Rania.
York? I'm like,
Ranya's the same way. So Rania grew up in Long Island and has been obviously in and out of the city her entire life. She does not have a New York accent, but every now and again, especially since we've been living back here for a couple of months, it's kind of like clocking. And then every now and again, she'll slip and she'll say like, I don't know, what's a super New York
Coffee.
Yeah, exactly. So she'll be saying something like that. And we have like the same sort of momentum where it's like every now and again, we sound like where we're from. Now, Jim Jeffries. See, I'm getting better at it. I took my medication today. So
Full circle.
here's one thing I will say, and I'm about to lose a substantial amount of credibility from saying this. I have not seen the most recent special. I have seen him on podcasts talking about the most recent special.
I don't know if you need to.
Might not.
We turned it off after
Honestly,
the first
yeah.
15
Really?
minutes.
Literally, and I love Jim Jeffries.
Yeah.
I met Jim Jeffries at a comedy show in
I'd
LA.
throw up. I'd throw up in my lap.
I did. I was like, oh my God. Like, I don't get starstruck very often at all.
Oh.
And I was like, oh my God, he was shit-faced.
Of course.
Shit-faced.
I thought he was sober. Well, how many years ago was this?
It was before I met you, so at least 5 years ago.
So we came
That
back.
actually
we
makes
moved back
sense.
from LA as well.
Yeah.
Ah, where in LA did you live?
We were, I was in LA for over a decade and I was all over. I was like, East Side, the Valley. And then when we met, he was living in Beverly Hills.
I was Beverly
He
Hills, then we moved
bougie.
to Brentwood.
Yeah, I was gonna just
No.
living in Beverly Hills.
Time out. Okay, so for people who are not from LA,
Wait a minute.
there's
I think I need to scooch closer
There's-
over here
there's-
because I don't affiliate with this.
so there's Beverly Hills in the hills.
Yeah, you're right.
And then there's Beverly Hills
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
normal near West Hollywood.
Yeah.
So I was in the normal side of
Also,
Beverly
to
Hills.
preface, we were living in a fucking tiny studio apartment.
That's fair.
in-
Yeah,
in
yeah, yeah.
Beverly
No,
Hills.
there is some spots up there where it's like you can pay $1,500 a month
Yeah,
living up in the
it's
hills and
nice.
say you lived in the hills. We were in the valley.
I lived in Sherman Oaks.
We were in Sherman Oaks.
Freaking
We were
love-
on Woodman.
I was off Woodman.
Ah,
I was right, you know, the mall?
We were the
Look at
shit.
us.
Jesus,
Ralph's?
look at
Right
us
by
go.
Ralph's?
Yeah, we had the Ralph's like
That
right
big-
down the street. Yeah.
That's right. I was literally
That's
right behind. I was on
mental.
Marietta.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
So
we
close.
used
What
to
a
joke.
small world.
Every
and I
day-
live right next to here. That's
so funny.
crazy to me.
So what made you guys go? What made you go from Boston to LA to New York?
Rania.
So she.
So I was in Boston and I
Dennis's
met
beautiful
Rania, my gorgeous girlfriend. You'll see her at some point. Honestly, with the whole like couples theme going on, we should do like
gonna
me
come,
and
yeah.
Rania here and then you two.
Agreed.
That'd be fun as hell. And then we can go on double dates. What are we doing? Love that. Give the kid to the parents. what was I saying?
The journey.
The journey. So I was teaching in Boston for 5 years, and I met Rania during my last year in the classroom, and I moved out there because I wanted to be with her. I was like, I'll figure out like the teaching side of things. I'll figure out the content creation side of things. I got to be with her because I'm not doing another year of long distance. It was a nightmare.
How'd you meet?
Okay, so her best friend from USC started dating my best friend who went to Berkeley, which is right down the street from Emmanuel where I went. So my best friend and I were both in Boston. Her best friend and her were both at USC. My best friend lived in LA originally. So when he went back after we graduated, he met her best friend.
Okay.
And then the conversation from start to finish was always like, you would love Rania. And the conversation of Rania was like, you would love Tyler. And like the ongoing joke that we have is that the very first time I ever saw a picture of Rania was when her friend Julia showed me the picture. And I was like, that's my wife. Where'd you get this picture of my wife? Like, what are you doing? And then at the time, Rania like just had no, like, it's not that she didn't have any interest. It was like she was in like the end of a relationship, right? It was like in a situation where like you knew it was going to be ending. So I started reaching out and I was like, I love you so much. But it was fun when you had like her friend to be like, you would love this kid, you know, and her being like, you would love Rania. And I was like, I already do, don't worry. So then we started talking. Obviously she became single, and then she came to visit me like a month after in Boston. So then she came to visit me. I went to LA a couple of times to visit her. And then we were just bouncing back and forth for that like entire year. And then after that, I was like, I can't do long distance with this person. Like, it's not sustainable for me. And not because like we couldn't have done it. We could have easily done it. I just am like, I'm an adult. I have independence and I'm capable and free will. I'm going to go live in LA. And I've always wanted to live in LA for a little bit at least. So we went and lived there. And then that business opening that I was telling you about, which is obviously like not out yet, but she got invited to be part of that business opening. So she came over to here because that's where it's happening, obviously. And also her whole family's over here. My family's in Boston. So it's like much easier than like the 6.5 hour flight from LA. So the whole situation, it's like, I'm almost 30, Rania's 30. It's like, we're at the time where you want to be able to go hang out with family whenever you want. Yeah. So it just made sense to move back to here. And I had never lived in New York.
Are you happy you're here?
I love it.
Yeah.
It was definitely a transition. It was weird because like Boston and New York are like similar, but they're not. Boston's like New York's like drunk cousin, like like once removed type thing. And I got like, obviously Boston is a city as much as anything is. And like, it's a little fast paced. Then we go to LA, you know it. Everything's slow.
Chill.
Everyone
it's so
is
easy to be successful in LA when you're from the East Coast.
Yeah,
It's so
right?
easy.
Because they're like, oh my God, you're so entertaining. I'm like, I can't stop. So you need to stop me because the ADHD is just going to pour
And we work
out.
too fast.
Yeah.
They're like, wait, why are you working so much? You're like outpacing me. I'm like, I don't know, like step your game up.
Because I have this like inadequacy concept from being raised in Boston. And now I need to be continuously doing things or my head will explode.
Wait, but you touched on something that actually I felt. So
hear it.
being from New York,
Yeah.
I always felt a sense of like, man, there's always someone better than me around, which was
my
fine,
God.
right?
Yeah.
And when I went to LA, like there's pretty people, but I was like, I'm like the coolest fucking guy in LA.
Yeah.
And then I moved back to New York. I'm like, fuck, there's a lot of cool people in New York. And I'm like, just normal here.
So it's funny you say that. And Rania and I have talked about this a lot. And this obviously does not cover the entire population of California, obviously. Because one of my best friends for a long time was from California. Loved him. We got along a lot. But all this to say, like when we were in LA, I noticed something that Rania had sort of like hinted in at a couple of times where it's like socializing in California has sort of like a hidden message in it all.
Yes.
Where a lot of the
Ulterior
people that I
motive.
would talk to, because we spent a lot of time around like comedy clubs and spent a lot of time around like close friends of ours. And I remember that we went to an event together and it was Rania and I, and then it seemed like, I've tried to explain this and I think you might get it, where it's like a whole crowd full of 50 people and everyone's making noise, but no one's talking to each other.
Nobody's saying
It's
anything.
just 25 pairs of people talking to the person they came with. In my dumbass, I'm very like golden retriever energy in situations like this because I just like to meet people. Hence today, you know, like I like meeting people. So I'm like, screw it. I'm going to go talk to a bunch of people. And I would try to start these conversations, and I would get the first question was like, what do you do for work? And I'm like, I'm a content creator. And they're like, how many followers? And how many followers? And I'm like, what are we doing here? Like, realistically, what are you hoping to gain from this conversation? But it was kind of obvious that it was like, when you tell them the following, they're like,
They deign you to be somebody worth having a conversation with.
you have utility.
Yeah.
You know?
Use.
Because they're like, oh, you ever want to come on a podcast? And I'm like, yes, but stop using me for that.
Every conversation in LA, and we talk about this quite often, not only on the podcast, but in our own personal life, especially moving here in January, there's always an ulterior motive in LA.
Yeah.
And it's always the next best thing. There's a distinct lack of intention and genuine nature when you're speaking to people, and you can almost see the cogs turning in their head, being like, how can I use this person? What can they be used for? And like all of these types of things. And because majority of people work within the creative industries, it is this big flow. Now, it can be incredibly collaborative if you're going about it in the right reasons.
Exactly.
But if your only ever intention is to be able to get something from everybody, it's just so insidious, and you walk away so drained from every social setting.
I couldn't agree more. And I think that, like, this isn't to say that all of the people that I met when I was in California were that way, but it was like really hard. And I think because I'm just like willing to like have a conversation with whoever, and if it goes well, I won't think of it for too long. I've been very blessed with being able to like, I enjoy making friends. I make a lot of friends. And when I was in LA, it was the first time that I had like, I felt like I wasn't meeting anyone. I wasn't like making any friends or any connections. And that was weird for me. But Rania would pull me aside at that same thing. She was like, this is kind of how it is. She's like, this is how it's been with me for 10 years. And Rania was a Billboard writer and on-camera interviewer. And it's like, if you tell someone in Los Angeles that you work with Billboard, that is like, it's not equal in any way, but it's like really important in different ways to like, similarly to saying that you're a content creator.
Yeah.
You have promotional benefit.
Yeah.
So Hannah has a great reputation in LA. So she has like the coolest celebrity friends I've ever, like people I would see on TV.
Sure.
She never asks them for anything, and she treats them as a person. And they're, I think, taken aback, like, why does this person just treat me as a normal person?
Yeah.
And they go out of their way for her because she doesn't treat them as an entity. She's just like, you're a person that I like, so I'm going to treat you as a person I like.
But it's also just like, why, like, it's partly, I think, just in the way in which you're raised, right? Like, in Australia, we don't really give a fuck. Like
Why
Jim
would you?
you know what I mean? Like, Jim Jeffries, amazing, cool, but like, still sat there and had a conversation with him like he's a human being. And when you start treating people differently based on what they do versus who they are, that's when we as a society get really skewered. And that's when you get really fucked up in your own head of like what you value. I value people. Like the fact that you, and for people who don't know Tyler, like Tyler has fucking millions of followers across all of these platforms, right?
Do. It's like a mini cult.
Yeah, it is, and it's amazing. But I messaged you through Chris Merch, Nigel Roxbury. I love that he has an alias. It always makes me laugh.
Oh, it's the best.
Blew it up.
But he was like, hey, you should message this Tyler fella. Message you. Within 10 minutes, you're like, oh, fuck it, I'd love to.
Yeah.
And it was so genuine and it was so instantaneous. And I was like, oh, no, I'm going to like this fella.
Well, I just think like people think that when it comes to, especially in like the realm of content creation, people think that like exclusivity can be monetized, when in reality, like inclusivity is the most monetizable quality that a content creator can have, because you want to bring in more people, because more people bring in more people. I started making more money when I started collaborating and interacting than I ever had before that. And people, obviously, they get into content creation because they see content creators doing like, you know, 6-figure brand deals, and they're like, I want whatever that is.
Yeah.
What they don't want to do is have to have like the level of integration, the level of engagement, similarly to me responding to you in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
That's what it takes to get to a point where you're doing this very successfully.
What I loved about you, though, and I found in a common thread across all of the different types of platforms, because obviously like there's different communities within different platforms, right? Is that you create community.
Yeah.
It's not just you interacting with the follower, quote unquote. It's you encouraging everybody to interact with each other. And then it creates this really beautiful community where people want to be a part of it. They almost want to be in your orbit, not for the sake of like getting something from you, because they know that there's going to be like-minded people that they can then create more community with. And like you said, it's like this trickle-down effect, which is so beautiful.
Yeah, and I think like, I mean, obviously being in the classroom for 5 years helped designates sort of like the type of climate I want in my immediate group of friends, my relationship, my family, all of these things. Like, and then my followers, like, I know it sounds stupid. There are some followers I have that I DM back and forth with regularly because when I first heard from them, I had some people, and I swear to God, I'm not trying to like create this picture of like, he's this like blessed figure. I swear to God, I'm not trying to do that. This is just like a legitimate thing that has happened a couple of times where I was on live and I was just telling people, I was like, this is a positive community. And part of like a positive community is that it's like, I'm going to be real with you when I'm not feeling great. And I want you to be real with me when you're not feeling great. Because this is the same thing I tell my students. I was like, you're going to have off days. I'm going to have off days. When I have an off day, I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to need a little bit of help from you. So that when you have an off day, I'm going to help you as well. And that's how this works, you know? But if you don't communicate it, I can't respond to it.
Yeah.
And if I don't communicate it, why would you respond to it? So I had like a couple of kids reach out to me and they were talking to me about how they have like these issues with like mental health and anxiety and they just don't feel like being around is worth it and stuff like this. And I have sat there for like hours just going back and forth with this person and being like, I get it. I've been there. I know exactly how that feels. It's this all the time. Yeah. And I told him, I was like, but the thing is, if you're here, you're going to be here at some point. And then you got to think realistically, you're going to be back here at some point. But like, what a blessing to know that nothing stays the same all the time, even under this like umbrella of mental health. So I'll have these conversations. And now I get to see these followers years removed from those conversations, like having a great life. And like still popping in on every goddamn platform, popping into every chat, every like comment section, all this with advice for other kids who are going through it.
So
That's awesome.
That's the wave.
That train.
Wait, so this is where I love the part of the conversation. I know nothing.
Sure.
So
What a beautiful thing. I wish.
Ignorance is bliss.
I know nothing about anything. What is your content about and how did it start? So you were a teacher. What
yes.
grade? What happened?
So I was in the classroom from 2019. Actually, my first year teaching was the COVID school year.
Okay.
Yeah. Which was fun. So actually, my first year was a shit show. So I had just graduated my undergrad with a double major in education and English. This comes into play. Actually, it immediately comes into play because while I was in my undergrad, I was working really closely with this school that was right down the street, this private Catholic school in Boston. All the red flags. I was working really closely with them because when you're an education major, you want to do like a little bit of field work. So we'd go to the school, I'd hang out with the kids. They had me doing weird shit. Like I painted the walls one day. I was like a groundskeeper one day. And then like that afternoon, I'd be in like the after school program. I worked with them a lot, but I was like really good with the kids and the kids loved me and I loved them. So when I got out of undergrad, they're like, you want a master's degree, right? So that you can teach and pay bills. And I was like, sure. And they're like, we need a teacher. Do you want to teach? And I was like, that's actually exactly what I was hoping to do. I'd love to teach. And they're like, how would you like to teach a new class that we're developing that's called Stream and Writing? STREAM is an acronym for Science, Technology, Religion, Engineering, Arts, Math, and Writing.
So everything.
The only reason they added the and writing, exactly, just me. So the only reason they added the and writing is because I was an English major with the goal of getting an English teaching license. I needed to be working towards that license, and if I was teaching science, they couldn't write off that I was working towards my license. So they added a content section so that I could be working towards my professional license. I taught those concepts to grades K2 through 6th. So kindergarten, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th.
All at once?
Oh yeah, babies. So it would be technically a special. So in the way that a gym teacher is supposed to have 3 goddamn classes, I was basically like a specials teacher that taught the whole school.
Like the Amish.
Exactly.
Just like the Amish.
It's nuts. So I took that job. During my first year teaching, I was also doing the master's degree that they offered me. They were like, we'll cover your master's degree. You'll go right back to the same school because they love that school. You'll do your master's. It's supposed to be 2 years. I got it done in 1 year, thank Christ. But I was teaching and then going to night classes. So every single day I would be like just going from 6 in the morning until like 10 at night. And then COVID. which was so fun for teachers.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because everyone, like, you could talk to a teacher who had been in the classroom for 50 years, a master of their craft, done every single job top to bottom. They don't know how to teach during a pandemic.
They don't know how to stream.
No one knows how to like move school to a virtual, because half of the professionals weren't even like, there weren't laptops when they were teaching. So it's like, it was just this immediate, oh shit moment in the school. So it added on, like, you're going to be in your first year of teaching, which is crazy already. Then you're going to do master's classes. I actually had to do it in a year instead of 2 years, because I would have had to pay for the second year because it was expensive. So I was doing rushed classes, which was just nuts.
Wow.
Then global pandemic, you're going to completely change your teaching style and you're going to be online for most of it. I will say, though, the only few bright sides of COVID is that I don't think I would have finished my master's thesis if I hadn't done that. So believe it or not, all this to answer your question, I was in that school for 4 years, and then I taught high school for a year, and that's when I moved to be with Rania.
But how'd the content get involved?
Yeah. Where did the content
I probably should have answered that question. So
That's
during
the big question.
COVID, I was on social media. I like created a TikTok account in like July of 2019, and then I was just scrolling for a little bit. The reason that the goddamn TikTok is called Fishing for Clout is because I grew up fishing. I'm a fisherman. I love fishing. And I just need like a stupid name because it needs a username. And I remember in the back of my mind being like, I love watching fishing videos. What if I became, this is gonna sound so goddamn stupid, because as I say it, I'm like, I'm the only one who thought this was a good idea. I was like, I like watching fishing videos. Maybe I can become a fishing content creator and maybe at some point in time work with a fishing brand so that I can do a fishing tournament and make that a job.
You're shitting
So-
me.
Mind you, I've worked with Uber, Adobe, Duncan. Haven't gotten a goddamn fishing
Wait,
brand
so
deal
what
yet.
were the
Be the
first
moment.
pieces of content like?
Fishing.
So you're out there fishing.
Dude, my first ever video,
It's amazing.
I don't want to waste time. I could find it. It is the dumbest shit you've ever seen in your whole life. It is a carousel of pictures with Tyler Childers, Feathered Indians. Do you know that song Feathered Indians by Tyler? Good for you. But so it's that song, this country ass song with a rotating carousel of pictures of me with fish. And this is my intro
Joey,
that turned into this
Can you pull these
empire.
up? Joey,
Yeah,
pull these
Joey,
up,
find
please,
these.
right now.
Okay, so I'm gonna talk while I search this because I'm gonna be able to find it.
gonna
If
be
you
amazing.
go on TikTok and you type "fishing for clout"
Did you do How Well Do You Know Yourself?
No. I
Would
know.
have been great.
first
When
video,
him and Rania come on together.
We'll do that.
We'll do
okay.
oh, 100%. I'm 100% gonna be able to find it somewhere, but I don't know that it's gonna come up quickly. We'll find it. We'll put it up on the screen or something.
Yeah, we'll get our editor to do it. He's incredible.
It
He
is
can find
the
anything.
dumbest shit you've ever seen in your whole life. So I started off just making like content about fishing, which
I can't stop laughing when you say
it's
that.
so niche. It's so like I have a hook. Like I literally like fish, and that's why people are like, "Why the hell did you make it fishing for clout?" And I was like, "Because it was stupid." And I asked my girlfriend at the
You're
time,
like,
I was
"Had a
like,
plan."
"What should I make it?" No, if I had a plan, it would have been Tyler Jackowski, and that would have been it. I wish I had had a plan, but now if you search fishing for clout or Tyler Jackowski, there's 75 different things. But at this time, so during COVID, I was on social media and you saw that everybody was just like clearly deeply depressed. No one's happy. Everybody's just like really upset. You're stuck in your houses. And I really I knew that I could probably make some of these people laugh with some of the stupid shit that was going on while I was doing remote teaching. So I was like, why not? I started like kind of recording some of the conversations I'd have with students because they're silly. Obviously, none of it had anything to do with like their identity, their addresses, the school, whatever. It was always just them like being silly. Sometimes they like to roast me because it's like, why not? And because I grew up in Boston, I can handle a great deal of abuse. So I would like record these conversations and they would just skyrocket because kids are funny as shit.
Yes.
Give
oh
us
my
an
God, they're
example.
so hot.
People don't give us enough
Yeah.
credit for that.
What was your favorite student interaction?
Like a viral one. Like what was something that people were
So
just like,
one
what the
that went viral, not because of the students. It was because of the student, but it was also like I plotted it out. I had a video where it was like, when I'm doing remote learning, I have the students doing work and I'm on a camera with them and they're just like scrolling through this Google Doc and I never really know if they're doing their work. So at certain places in the worksheet, I would have them do certain things. So one of them said, unmute and tell Mr. J that he has a big nose. Right? And I videotaped myself, and all you hear out of nowhere is just the kid unmutes and was like, Mr. J, your nose is big. And I'm like, why would you say that? I'm like, I'm reaching out to your mom right now. And that one, millions of views in like a day and a half. It actually got demonetized because TikTok is stupid. But it got blocked because I wasn't even monetized at the time. But it was stuff like that. And then there was one time where I was just like really hyper, and I told my students, I was like, when I'm hyper, I don't want to be called Mr. J. I want to be called Lil Teach, because that's like my new rapper teacher name. And one kid unmuted, he was like, okay, Tyler Francis. Found my middle name.
How old are these kids?
At the time, 5th and 6th grade.
Oh, so that's a good age. But that's a good age to be like a bully.
Kids don't get enough credit for the fact that like when I'm in on the joke and they're able to be themselves without the fear of like getting in trouble, A, they're not going to take it too far. B, they're so goddamn funny. And if teachers were willing to say like, be yourself. I want you funny and being yourself over quiet and being like just shunned. Like kids are hilarious. So I would just like keep running with this, and it just like people really loved it. And then I had this like one little series where it was like I would ask kids questions that somebody from the 90s would know. What's a Tamagotchi? What is this thing? I'd show them a Tamagotchi, and they'd be like, I don't even know what they called it. They're like a little robot egg. And I was like, you actually don't know what this is. And so we just go off. I'd show them Heelys, and they'd be like something you'd break your neck on. And I was like, yeah, but
so much smarter than we were.
Yeah, well, exactly. Right. So they know to not do this. I'm like going down a hill at 60. But yeah, it was just like stupid stuff like that. Like the conversations in and of themselves were worth watching, you know? And during COVID, I think it really gave people like a little bit of a relief from how, just adding some levity into the situation, because everybody was so tense.
Yeah.
And everybody was so upset. And it's all like pointing fingers at like who did it. And like everyone's dying. And it's like some things are really simple and natural. The only other side of it is that like America has always and continues to have a horrific reputation, especially in like the way of education. And I wanted the opportunity for a global audience to be able to see what it looked like inside of a American teacher's classroom. Because if there's one thing that they can take away from it, if there's a singular example of an American teacher who's like compassionate, empathetic, a little bit funny, like get students to be themselves, we are massively repairing the reputation that America has.
I want to ask you something. So that Hannah and I obviously have our son that you met.
Sure.
And we talk about not putting him into traditional schooling.
Sure.
Because from my perspective, you're just a number, and you're just taught to like be there unless you have a good teacher. And like, you know, I went through 12 years of school, and it was like, it's just, you're taught to like get through the program, be quiet, and then you're going to come out quote unquote the same as everybody else and not be too different.
So I think, so a couple of like things to make clear first. I have never taught in a non-traditional environment. I have never been taught in a non-traditional environment. There are a million instances of kids who have been homeschooled. They've done, you know, like their own little like private bubble school, stuff like this, which got huge during COVID. I can't believe they're not 3 times the size that they are. But from what I'm noticing, teacher TikTok has really elevated the incentive for teachers to be better. A lot of teachers, you know, you're getting paid shit. You know, like my first job, I think I was making like $32,000 a year. And I almost pissed my pants when they handed me the contract. I was like, you're going to pay me to do this job? And they're like, yeah. And I was like, I'll take it. And I signed my life away. And it was like, teachers don't have many other incentives to do a good job other than like maybe if they teach for 40 years, some kid from like their first class will come back and say like, the only reason I started this like company, or I feel so confident, or I was able to do this, this, and this is because of your teaching. It's all very far removed from the current day of the classroom. And teaching is also exhausting. So you're getting beaten down daily. You're not getting paid well for it. And then hopefully later on, there's a very this very like timed out feeling of like reassurance that you're doing a good job. It's very little like immediate gratification. So the reason I say that is because that status of a teacher is kind of like starting to fade away. There will never not be teachers who don't give a shit about their job. And there will never not be teachers who got into teaching for the wrong reason, that being like a sense of power, a sense of need, a sense of belonging. But I think that the presence of teachers who are willing to go that extra mile because they know that there can be financial and or like, you know, social benefits from it, that's becoming much more prevalent in American schools.
That's awesome.
You know, and I think that some of the content creators like myself, Shelby Lattimore, Gabe Dannenbring, Philip Lindsay, Andrea Forkham, like there are so many teachers that are proving to people around them that like if you're really kind and you really like are transparent with what goes on, people love it.
Wait,
Do you still? Oh,
sorry, I was about to say, but like what you're saying is so true, and I can relate it back to my own life in this way. I'm horrible at math.
Yeah.
Right? You can attest to it.
Sure.
Horrible.
That'll
Fantastic
do
at
it.
English, great vocabulary, all these things. Horrible at math, have been so notoriously.
Sure.
All through high school, I got D's and E's in
Yep.
math. And
what's an E?
Yeah, what's an E?
It's the worst.
I thought an F was after D.
I thought it was for exceptional.
Yeah.
C, D, E, F. No, E. E. We didn't have F's, we had E's.
Oh, okay.
You guys
Why did we go to
Yeah,
F?
you guys skipped one, so it's not my problem.
Fail.
I mean, fail, but that unfortunately makes the most sense.
Thank
like,
you.
what does B stand for?
Best?
I guess A to D is just like the barometer, and then F is just like you failed. You skip E, you failed.
It should just be
You're
X.
so bad.
Just like, get out of here.
Zed, get out. And in year 10, I remember vividly, I had this math teacher named Mr. Goody. Great
Sure.
name.
Yeah.
And he was so phenomenal at what he did. He
Yeah.
was very much sure what you're kind of attesting to. He was kind. He injected levity into it. He treated us like humans, all these kind of things. I got a fucking B+. And if that isn't an absolute testament, and again, I'm so bad at math, but like a testament to the teacher, I don't know what is.
Well, I mean, there's like when I was doing my education major, we had a lot of like we had a lot of sessions where we'd just get idioms about teaching from teachers who have been very successful. And one thing that kind of always made sense was that it's like kids aren't going to learn from someone they don't like.
That.
Why would they? And it's like
there's
if
not a
you
lot
go
of
into
respect
it,
there.
it's true. Like that okay, here's something that I always kind of like held really close to my chest when it came to being in the classroom, but there is absolutely like there's something in there where it's like the respect you get from students is not earned when they walk into the room. Typically, it's earned within the first month or two of you teaching them. Because let's be real, they're not getting paid to be here. They're here because they're told to be here. So why would, unless there's an extra incentive, which we can get to, unless there's an extra incentive, the only reason why this kid's going to do the work you want them to do so that you can keep your job is if they like you and they want you to keep your job.
That's awesome. The more you talk about it, the more I equate a good teacher is to like a good coach in sports.
Sure.
Where it's like everyone's different and you have to coach them different and treat them different because you're going to learn different. And if you do it as a mass, you're going to get nowhere.
But that's what's funny about like what I'm like the company that I started. So America's Heroes, the reason why, like what I was saying before, that there's very few incentives for teachers to go above and beyond unless you like start this social media thing, but it's not what everybody wants to do. Completely fair.
It's hard.
So it's very hard. So it's like I wanted to develop a further incentive for teachers in the form of America's Heroes. So America's Heroes is that other incentive where basically teachers can join contests, write out their story of being a teacher and why they deserve to win this contest, and then promote themselves. And so we've done contests. We started, the first contest we did was in January, and we've done 4 since then. There was a contest we did in May. We gave away, the first place person got $10,000 in a trip to Cabo
Wow.
for free.
So that's what the content is mostly. So it's the content you do now is still along the lines of teacher, student, and teachers.
Yeah, it's all educational advocacy. It's speaking up for students. It's speaking up for teachers. It's continuously trying to develop this platform for America's Heroes to be able to give more money to teachers. Like we've given $50,000 to teachers.
We should
who
contribute
deserve
to
it.
that.
100%.
Can you?
I mean, that would be
do people
amazing.
contribute?
Yeah, so basically one thing that we're working on right now, so we've taken a little bit of a pause from doing the contest and we're hoping to do another one very soon. I'm hoping to do another one pretty soon. I'm trying to look for a sponsor where we can do sort of like a back to school contest. And I'm in conversation with a lot of other companies who want to sponsor contests because they're like, of course I want to give money to teachers. So the company that I run now is sort of like an embodiment of my opinion towards teaching, where it's like, I swear to God, I know it doesn't feel like there are incentives anywhere. Someone somewhere will create an incentive that'll make you say like, it's worth it to be this good of a teacher, because if I get enough votes by people who have read my story and think I'm a good enough teacher to win, you can get $10,000, which for some people is a third of their annual salary in one contest.
What if you flipped it on its head and did this angle? You went to like the most successful entrepreneurs in the world and you told them, we're going to give an X amount of dollars to the teacher that impacted you the most. And then it could be someone super random that the teacher's probably like, oh, I taught Elon Musk when he was in second grade, but he doesn't know who I am. Maybe Elon Musk does remember. And it's like, oh, Miss Hartley from my second grade. And it's like, okay, well, Miss Hartley gets $100,000. And it's like, fuck, like Elon remembered me. I think that like, cause you know, being an entrepreneur now, I'm like, there are like 2 or 3 teachers that actually positively impacted me being here.
Sure.
And I'm like, I wish I could reward them for it.
Yeah, I mean, that's phenomenal, and I absolutely want to do that. The only thing that like kind of rings in the back of my head is that like there are teachers who are out in the classroom right now in some of the most difficult places to teach currently as we speak today, like teaching, you know? And I think that the teachers who have made a change or an impact in the past are entirely relevant. But I feel like the person who is my number one clientele for the contest right now is like that first, second, third year teacher who's currently teaching in a district where they love the district, they love the school, they love the kids. And because of that, they're willing to take $25,000 a year.
Yeah.
You know, so like I'd love to do both. And my goal as time goes on is like educators aren't just in America. I want to do Australia's heroes. I want to do Ireland's heroes. I want to do England's heroes. And I want to just expand it to a point where giving money to teachers who deserve it across the entire globe is not like a, holy shit, I won a contest. It's like a, I busted my ass and that's why I'm getting this payment, you know? And I think that there's clientele everywhere. You know, if we could get like a couple of bigger companies to do like sponsorships for contests on an annual basis, we could generate the revenue to expand it to every country that we need to.
And it's a marketing play for them. Like if you got Scholastic and it was a big marketing thing, it's like, all right, it's $100,000 in marketing for us that we're going to spend anyway.
Also, it's a charitable donation.
Yeah, that's right.
Because I, like the company that I'm on the board for, Legacy Youth Leadership, like they are a nonprofit and we can always just like work with them on donations and then utilize that money to go towards teachers.
Well, we'll put that and then also America's Heroes in the bio of what we're going
I know we're
Yeah,
going way
that'd
off
be
topic
amazing.
for you, right?
Well, it's not even off topic. We're out of time. Can you believe that we've been talking
We're
for an
out of
hour?
time already?
That was an hour?
We have like 10 minutes. We started 10 minutes
Can
late.
this be a longer one?
Do you have a call?
Huh?
Well, I do want to talk to Tyler about what we said earlier. The product.
Oh, we can, yeah.
Surprise.
So quickly, maybe we'll get like 5 minutes with
We
it.
can do that, and then I want to do a little connection rapid fire. So
Okay,
10
so
more
let's
minutes.
do it.
Please, I can't wait.
So obviously, we're all aligned in the same space of like human connection and community and experience. Have you seen the friend.com ads?
All over
No.
subways.
Okay,
All over
So
I don't think
Hannah and I were
so.
taking the subway
I'm
the
also
other day.
just not very vigilant.
Hannah and I were taking the subway the other day, and
Yeah.
we're obsessed with marketing. Like that's our whole life right now. And there were these friend.com ads. We're like, oh my God, that marketing is so cool.
Yeah.
So we looked it up and we were confused. And we were like, wait, is this a little device that's your friend? So have you seen the movie Her with Joaquin Phoenix?
I've heard of it. I haven't seen it. I think
yeah.
it might have made me dissociate if I saw it.
Fair.
So we started looking into it and we're like, wait, this is like a product that's your friend instead of having real friends. Fast forward another week, there's a whole big controversy about this product.
Sure.
And we're like, yeah, this company is trying to sell you a technological advice that's your friend. And it's like, what are some of the quotes that it has where it's like, your friend will never ignore your call.
Oh my God, I have seen these.
Yeah, you know what
Your
we know
friend
what
will
you're
like answer you whenever you want. Your friend will never like, yeah, it's wild.
And it's so interesting now that we're seeing this like real mass swing.
Yeah.
So we have people like Joe and I who are really passionate about in-person connection, right? We
Sure.
really want people in front of each other. We want tech to be used as a bridge, not as something that's like a mainstream form of communication and community. And then you have the other end of the spectrum where it's literally companies going, you don't need humans. here you go. Here's something technological wise that will literally fill the void of having friends,
wild.
of having a partner.
Oh my
and it is
God.
very dystopian and it's very weird. But then to talk even more on that, Joe was talking about this.
So the other morning, I saw this article, and it's about this woman named Lily Norwood, and it's all these agencies, like the top talent agencies in the world, like who's going to hire Lily Norwood? And I was like, who the fuck is Lily Norwood?
Yeah.
So I opened the article. Lily Norwood is an AI-generated actress from this company in Sweden, and they're using her to. They want her to be the modern-day Scarlett Johansson. Full circle, Scarlett Johansson is the voice in her.
Oh, wow.
So
No,
now,
I'm dissociating. I haven't even seen the movie.
so now all these talent agencies are trying to hire her as the next face of TV, and they say that they want her to be the next Scarlett Johansson.
Which is, it's so bizarre because it's like,
But sorry to cut you off. Talent agencies are bidding to have her as a client.
So they've been doing this with modeling for a while, right? I was a model for a very long time.
Sure.
And they kind of started implementing this where they would use like AI models and they would do like face down or whatever. And it was, you still have to have a real model on set to like be the body, but then they could AI manipulate it and make it complete. So they wouldn't have to pay usage rights, basically.
Oh my
Which is just
God.
so fucked up in so many different ways.
I'm so glad I'm not fit for modeling. That would hurt my
Mate,
feelings so
it
bad. If
really
they're like,
does. Like,
we'll take your body, let's cut the
The
face.
face, no,
That would
we
hurt
don't
my
need. We
feelings
don't
so
need. Also,
bad.
we're gonna pay fucking cents on the dollar.
Yeah,
just to be able to
exactly.
get
No,
around
that's
it.
bonkers.
But it's so interesting to me that, like, again, this like duality that we live in a society where like that's happening, and there are companies who are willing to pay like a boatload of money to be able to do that.
Jesus.
And then there's incredible creators like yourself you're so human and you're so raw and vulnerable, and like I'm so interested to see, because I always think that there's like a overcorrection, right? I'm so interested to see like where we actually end up in a society in a couple of years with all the introduction of so much of this technology and so many of these AI models, what people are actually going to want long term, not just a flash in the pan.
I mean, at first glance, I mean, I'm not going to pretend that I don't use like ChatGPT for certain things.
Freaking love it.
I think the problem is that it's almost like I would immediately think, will there be like an upward development in the relationship with this thing? Or am I just going to get one thing that's consistently itself for the foreseeable future? I think one thing that might be lost in all of that is like the development and continued progression of a relationship.
Yeah.
And that might even be just like the essence of human connection that like we're trying to like create a definition for, where it's like, I have friends from 10 years ago who I don't know anymore. And I have people I didn't meet until I was 27 who are my best friends now. I feel like it's that progression and the rate by which it progresses that makes it human and makes it desirable. And if I know technology, it's going to create that. But that just like weirds me out.
Human connection is flawed and imperfect.
That's what I was going to say. It's like I feel like with movies, with friends, you want to be relatable.
Yeah.
Right? Like from what you said with your content, you're relatable. You're teaching kids of like mental health and like swings.
Yeah.
If you have this perfect thing who's pretending not to be perfect just to do it, it's like, okay, I get you're being relatable to be relatable, but your dad actually didn't die in a car accident. Mine did.
Yeah.
You're telling me that you can relate, but you
Exactly.
align.
Exactly.
It's really bizarre. It's super bizarre. I don't know how I feel about it.
There's no like standard. There's no like standard set response to a type of trauma or a type of experience. Like if somebody's dad dies in a car accident, there are 100 million parts on a spectrum of reactions. And I think that because there's no correct one, the individuality of being able to fall anywhere along that spectrum sets humans aside from artificial intelligence.
I had a hot take this morning.
What is
Oh
it?
God.
I love a hot take.
Hannah knows this. Subway rides for me.
Okay.
I don't go on my phone. I like to just be in life.
He likes to stare at people weirdly
We are
on the
so
subway.
opposite.
I like to be in life.
I'm just
So this morning, everybody on the subway was on their phone, and I was like, what would it take for people to like pay attention, right? And I thought, what if everybody was naked, right? And it's kind of like the full swing of biology, where we're going back to being animals. Because if everybody was naked, nobody would be on their phone because like, fuck, everyone's naked. But What? You don't understand where I'm going with this?
I think today, like I
think I do.
I understand what you're saying, but I think just like the idea of everybody naked is like obviously so hypersexualized.
No, not in a sexualized way, but it's like, what would it take for a human being to be like,
I know that you're
my God,
not
everybody's
saying it in a
naked.
hypersexualized way. I'm just saying it's like when someone's naked, we just sexualize it naturally, right? And so I think that it would take a long time for society not to be like,
no, but I think,
What's going on here?
but ironically, it's like, what would it take for us to not pay attention to technology? It would take us going back to our roots
Yeah.
of like, we're fucking naked. Because if everybody on the subway was naked, nobody would be on their phone. They'd just be like, oh my God, we're all
Well,
fucking naked.
I think another side of that is that social media has upped the ante on what stimulates the brain. You know, it's the reason why, you know, people watch adult movies and then when they're in the real life, they can't perform because their
Yeah, exactly.
level of, you know, their level of, you know, being being affected by something to the point of having an anatomical reaction is set to a different precedent because of what you're seeing.
100%.
So I think to answer your question, I think the reason why comparatively somebody being naked on the subway might be more enhanced than what you might see on the screen. The problem is what you're seeing on that screen might be more attractive than the people you see around, even if they're naked.
that's
Yeah, and
That's the
true.
problem is that they're always upping the ante on what is a catalyst for response.
100%. And I don't want it to seem sexual because that's not what I'm
No,
saying.
that's not what you're
No,
saying.
I say roll with it. I think it's hilarious.
But it's just like, even if there was like 500 fat people around me, men and women, I would just be like, fuck, you guys are all naked. Like, and I would stare because
Yeah.
it's like,
it's
you're
such a
fucking
jarring
naked.
situation. Oh yeah, that's really interesting. Fellas. I
Do
hate
you
to
do
be-
the rapid fire or
Nah,
no?
we'll do it next time.
Okay.
Because I think there has
100%.
to be a next time, and I want Rania on here.
oh my God. Rania would be so good on this show. You have absolutely no idea.
Right now, I'm in your seat. I'll be sitting there. I'm warming it up for you. It's going to be such a good episode.
and she's
but
going to have like the 2 feet of distance as well. She's going to be like, get him away.
like, I don't really
I'm
know.
with him all the time.
I don't
Get
know
him
this
away.
person.
Yeah, literally.
But I have to say, first time in First Rounds on Me podcast history that I have not once read off the cue cards. Conversation
I don't
flowed so
feel like
easily.
this. I feel like we just sat down to talk. I really like, and I feel like we kind of need to do this
I
a
couldn't
couple
agree
more times.
I think we need to do this
Yeah.
over an alcoholic beverage.
Oh my
Out
God.
in the real world.
But can we also do it with an alcoholic beverage here?
Yes, of course we can.
Oh my God, that'd be so nice.
You know what? Next time we'll have some martinis.
Yeah,
or
once
something
you have
like
the
that
whole thing. Oh, Rania likes martinis. I can't do them.
ready. I can only drink red wine, so
Oh, I love red wine.
Okay.
Are you a Pinot Noir or Cabernet Sauvignon?
love. If it's red, I'll drink it.
I'm Pinot.
There you go.
I like Pinot Noir.
I love it. But Tyler, we cannot thank you enough for taking the time out of your busy schedule. By the way, he's got LASIK surgery yesterday, so the fact that he's here in front of bright lights is just a G move. all
Hell
around.
yeah. Recovery period is going to be twice as long.
If is there anything you want to say to our listeners in terms of like where they can find you, what they can expect, et cetera, et cetera?
I mean, listen, the last like couple of months of content creation have been like completely under this realm of I'm getting onto every single platform. So the TikTok's always been around. That's fishing for clout. The YouTube is also fishing for clout. What else is fishing for clout? The Twitch is fishing for clout. So TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, they're all just at fishing for clout. I wish I could change it, but I'm not going to. The Instagram is Tyler Jackowski Official. The Snapchat's Tyler Jackowski 1. Facebook's Tyler Jackowski. I think the last thing that I want to talk about is one series that I've been doing on YouTube that has been growing like wildfire. I was in the classroom for 5 years and I have a couple crazy stories. I'm running a series on YouTube called Classroom Horror Stories,
I know it was one of my questions, but
where people around the world are sending in stories. We get a lot from Melbourne. Australian
Crazy
schools
shit.
are bonkers,
Crazy shit
like
goes down.
nutty bonkers. So yeah, if you want to go onto the YouTube, the at Fishing for Clout YouTube, and look up Classroom Horror Stories, we have loads and loads. I think we have like 37 episodes now.
Oh, I gotta watch it.
So it's every Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We put out episodes. They're nuts. They're nuts. If you like anything I put on my TikTok, you will love everything that's on the Classroom Horror Stories.
amazing.
Awesome.
All right, my darling.
All right, thank you guys for listening. Check out one of our past episodes. Please subscribe. It helps us go a long way. And I don't know if Tyler is a Red Sox fan, but big Yankees game tonight, so we're against Tyler.
And we're up one on the series.
We'll see you guys next time. Happy connecting. Bye.